be the MC for Ayawaso East. Also in the studio is Desmond Chumesi Into, parliamentary candidate, former parliamentary candidate for PNC. Your constituency?
Ekuapem North.
Ekuapem North.
Yeah.
You contested Nana Dokuya.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your sister. Anyway. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us on the morning show this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll start with you, Sabo, on this. We are also expecting Honorable Alhaji ABF Husseini, Member of Parliament for Sagnarigo constituency. He will join us, shortly. But I'll start with you, Sabo, on the African story. Tanzania opposition leader arrested in hotel raid.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Justice, forgive me. I thought maybe, as usual, the way you used to do, I thought you were going to just read a bit of it.
Okay, all right. I would want to get the story that was captured. Ghanaian Times, that will be on page 5 or so. The story says, Tanzania police have arrested the chairman of main opposition party and several other opposition figures and sealed off areas where a demonstration was to begin over last week's disputed elections. The opposition has demanded a rerun of the October 28th vote, citing widespread irregularities for peaceful protest on Monday against the outcome, which returned President John Magufuli to office with 84% of the vote. Those arrested included Freeman Mbowe, chairman of the Chadema opposition party, God Bless Lima, a former member of parliament, Isaiah Wita, a former mayor of Dar es Salaam, and Boniface Jacob, the former mayor of Ubungo municipality. Quote, we arrested 4 people, including Freeman Mbowe, last night, and this morning we arrested 3 others, said the Dar es Salaam police chief, Lazaro Mambosasa. We arrested them in a meeting to organize the protest, which we already banned. Some of the people traveled from up country to Dar es Salaam and are trying to use youths to take it to the streets. Mambosasa said those arrested had admitted that they were organizing criminal activities such as setting petrol stations, market vehicles, and some government offices on fire. Mbowe, who was brutally assaulted in what he said was a politically motivated attack in June, tweeted that his life was in danger on the eve of the elections, accusing police of raiding his hotel. Emmanuel Vula, campaign manager with the ACT Wazalendo party, told the Associated Press news agency on Monday that security forces were deployed in the commercial hub of Dar es Salaam, where the 2 main opposition parties planned to march to the National Electoral Commission. The arrest and a heavy security presence appeared to have deterred potential protesters, and demonstrations never took place. And that was the story.
Yes. Let me say good morning to our cherished viewers and, and good morning to the people of New York of Ghana, Ayawaso East, and to my people in Tamale and its environs. Just as if you listen to the story,
right,
you can see that there was supposed to be a demonstration,
right,
of which the state did not give them the permission, but they were secretly planning to go ahead with the demonstration. So based on that, I think they picked intelligence that the leadership might have been lodging in that particular hotel. And then, hence the reason why they raided that particular hotel. Because when you look at the caption, it's a bit misleading. That is why I said you should read it. Right. If you look at the caption, I see he was in the hotel doing something different, but they went on a different audition and then fish him out and the rest. But you can see that purposely they went in having an information that they are there. The leadership of the demonstrators, are there. And then they went in for them. But let's look at the legality of the whole thing. Yes, indeed, it is the duty of the state to ensure peace and security for all citizens. So if at a point in time the state does not see it fit for a particular activity to be carried on based on security and other reasons, of course we need to comply with the orders and then try to push our demands within the ambits of the law to make sure that the right thing is done. But if you say that because we have an opposing view with the managers of the state as at that time, and for that matter, whatever they say is just an attempt to thwart our effort, and for that matter, we'll also take the law into our own hands and do what is deemed fit to us, then of course we'll not get things right. So this arrest, it's sort of unfortunate because in addition, it's like one of them was beaten or something of that. So that one is sort of unfortunate that they should have touched any of them. In my view, maybe they shouldn't have arrested them, but maybe just called that particular hotel premises to make sure that nobody come out as at that time, so that it's more or less house arrest.
Right.
But maybe for they might also be breaching the law because the hotel is a business place, it's a business environment, and it is somebody's property. So for them to also call that place for maybe number of hours and the rest will mean taking the person out of business, and the person can also take them to court and might win that particular case. But as to how they move into the hotel, whether management was aware, I don't know. Because I know within the hospitality industry, they also have their code of conduct and how things are done. And they know that the state or the constitution of the state is supreme to all other interests. So even if the security intelligence had alerted the hotel managers that this is what they intend doing and other things, I strongly believe that they will have given them the cooperation that they deserve, so that other things will not suffer in the process. But this particular demonstration that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Well, the story, I can best tell. I believe it is purely political because all the people mentioned are former appointees of the previous government.
Right.
So definitely it is purely political. And anytime we are doing our political activities, the basic thing that we need to consider or foresee is the interest of the people that we are seeking to govern. The interest in the sense that their security, I mean their what they call job security, their welfare and everything, and make sure that whatever we are going to do is not going to affect them. I have heard that burning of cars, filling stations, and the rest. What has it got to do with governance? What has it got to do with alternative governance? What has it got to do with better ideas? If you have better ideas and somebody is in government, is that what you do to get power? You see, because sometimes it is certain things. Of course, this is just an allegation, because the story did not narrow it down to like somebody was caught red-handed or something of that sort, but that they themselves confessed, and this is just a story. And you might meet them, they might also tell you that a different story altogether, that they never said something like that. They have never even gotten involved in something. But nonetheless, I will not actually take this particular act out. Because even in Ghana today, as we speak, we have that kind of belief that anytime a particular party is in power, it looks like the other party try to do certain things that will make the people feel uncomfortable, and for that matter, vent their anger on the government that is in system. I mean, you can just mention some of the markets that have been bent in recent times and the rest. Although, of course, investigations have indicated that it was as a result of certain things and other things. But nonetheless, when these things happen, people seem to rejoice in these things.
So I thought you were
simply because
indicate that bucket burning too is a political thing. Because you're about to take this in political
but yes, but you
But
can.
I've heard MPP
Yes, listen.
struggling to make it that it's brother who are burning
Listen,
the market. And I hope you are not doing that.
no.
Go ahead and step down for us.
If you have a story to tell, you can say.
Don't go there.
No. Don't tell me what. No, let me come. Let me come. Listen.
No.
Yeah.
I'm questioning you.
You know, I speak my mind. I speak my mind.
I told you that even if you think you have a strong
Listen,
head, don't test it against an articulator.
Somebody can go ahead.
Justice.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm saying is very simple. Yes, I mean, it could happen that you are not the one who actually bent the market. But you rejoice in the market burning. I mean, sense a signal. Oh, but my brother, stop doing this. Stop doing this. Even he was so happy that the Makola is burning.
Oh, how?
All MDC, bro, I'm telling you. Listen. I'm telling you this. Look. They go and sit. They go and sit on plastic. Listen, they go and sit on plastic like this. I say, look, last week this market bent. This week this one bent. Only God knows next week which one is bent. Hoping that another one should bend. Is it what tell Joyce? Why should we anticipate that another one will bend?
This is incredible.
Is that not a statement that you normally make? Oh, don't Allah. Listen. No, just you see.
Okay, Honorable, you are here yourself.
You see,
right?
let me come.
No. I wanted to
In fact,
he must retract.
in fact,
He can provide you the
in fact, if you can take, if you
Not at all.
Did you see?
but did I mention you?
You referred to them. You referred to
Listen, Justice. Justice, with all due respect, with all due respect, Justice, with all due respect, let me conclude my submission.
No.
Listen.
You referring to him as
My brother, he has sat on this set several times that has happened. He has referred to us, and he always pointed at me. Have I ever taken offense of that?
I'm saying that
he has always said certain things and pointing at me.
That markets that are bending, we are rejoicing.
Listen. I think he invited. Listen. No, Justice. He invited all these things. Let me tell you. You are not being fair to me. Look. So if he's making a submission, this is the way you want me to be. What is this?
It's because you are not a specific allegation.
No. Let me say. But you are not even giving me the opportunity to talk. How do I even retry?
In those things that I said, don't make an
Look at this. So what is this?
Sabu, go ahead.
I mean, what is this?
Go ahead.
Is that how we are going to do the
Go ahead
communication?
and then wrap up for me. I'm sorry.
In the first place, when he entered, was I on that tangent? Or he's not the one who even invited it?
You see?
He brought my mind to NDC. I even forgot that there's NDC. But he reminded me that there's NDC. And I realized that in fact they fit into the square. And I even forgot. No, I forgot. He reminded me.
So it means comfortable.
No. But was not comfortable when he entered the service. Don't I feel comfortable?
You see? Justice.
So you maintain that
when I was speaking, did I even mention Ghana?
We're
talking about Tanzania. And you brought the team home.
Tanzania.
And I'm not familiar with the terrain in Ghana.
Tanzania, I'm talking about markets bending.
Let me come.
Where does NDC come to market bending?
You see, just now you see.
You just said that.
You read it to him. The burning of market, burning of car, filling stations, and the rest. Read it to him.
He said
it's a story that I'm referring to.
And where is NDC in the burning of markets? Where? Where is the evidence? That's what he said.
I know who got the
And even included me as a specific example.
When I was making my presentation, was there NDC here?
Can you show the viewers Pan Africa TV my jubilation meet when my
Sabo, kindly step down.
Listen, me, I'm not in parliament. Nobody can drive to provincial.
No, but you have to accord that panel.
No. What I'm saying is not true. Is it not true?
That NDC just
yes.
Can you show pictures? Where's the evidence?
Most of the things we say here, can you show?
Where is the evidence?
Big bro.
Right. Okay, so kindly step down for this. Let me move to other panel members.
You see, I think as a moderator,
right,
I mean, there are certain things.
Okay.
I mean, we need to put it. I mean,
That's
where
right.
it is.
That's right.
As I was making my submissions, I didn't even mention Ghana. I never mentioned Ghana. Let alone to talk of NDC. I even forgot that there's something
You
called
related
NDC.
the issue to this country.
Yes, I related to this country. But what I mean is that
So
I didn't
you
even
referred to
mention Ghana. No, you're not getting my point. I didn't mention names.
Okay.
How they are getting me? But I was saying that in recent times,
Yeah.
there was this kind of market ban and the rest, isn't it? And I'll just cite it. And then you said that, look, this is what you want to say. And you reminded me that there's NDC who have been doing that. And it is true, NDC has been doing that.
Parties in this country as well.
When I say so, but parties,
Yes, you don't mention any parties,
no,
but you said some
yes.
parties.
So in this case,
So which parties?
which parties? So when you say some political parties, how do you qualify it?
Which parties?
No, how do you qualify grammatically? So very good. So that is vast. That is vast.
I side with Sabu. When he said some political party, he didn't even mention.
Mention the political party.
He didn't mention it.
But you didn't mention NDC.
Is it fair for you to sit on this program?
No,
and
but
take the
I-
names that
but-
when markets are there, some political parties are there. But you think that it's enough for you to say that and get away?
But it's true. It's a Look, I didn't want to go further.
No. Don't.
He didn't mention any name.
Master,
Sometimes
it is
that's
okay
what.
that-
Yes.
So
Political
no,
parties are mentioned as being behind
You
this.
see, sometimes it looks like a song that Bob Marley said. Who the cow fit, let him wear.
That is it.
But he didn't mention
So
any
it is
name.
okay to sit on the national platform
That's what- so-
and say that
so-
political parties are behind the belly of markets. And you are siding with that.
That markets are
Don't do that.
Justice.
He didn't mention
Justice.
PNC.
There's a PNC.
He didn't mention PNC. He didn't mention any political party.
This
Yes,
is a political party in this
He
country.
didn't mention any political party.
It's okay for you to say that
Let's go for a short
political
break.
parties are involved in the belly of markets.
Let's go for a break. We'll be right back.
That is okay.
No, the point is.
Every day, he has a drink filled with malt. Every day, he has a drink filled with malt and milk. Every day, he has a drink filled with malt, milk, and cocoa. Every day, he needs the nutritious goodness of Milo. Milo, the energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved. Every day, he looks after his brother and chases a bus. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, and learns new things. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, and gets back home. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, gets back home, and helps his mom. Phew. That's why every day he needs his cup of Milo filled with the nutritious goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa. Milo, the energy to go further.
From Nestle.
This advert is FDA approved.
After 20 years of activism, the Socialist Forum of Ghana is in transition to the Socialist Movement of Ghana, which will hold its first National Delegates Congress in Winneba from Friday, 30th July to Sunday, 1st August 2021.
The Congress will be held under the broad theme, a new platform for socialist transformation, and will be attended by delegates from all the collectives of the Socialist Forum of Ghana spread over all of the country. This conference will approve a new constitution for the socialist movement of Ghana and also adopt a working program for the movement. It will consider international and national issues as well as prepare the framework for the mobilization of the youth and women. This is indeed a historic Congress.
This is a time for the reawakening of the socialist movement of Ghana. It is time for the realization of the vision of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and our forebears who fought to liberate Africa from the yoke of slavery and colonialism. It is time to build the Africa we want and to struggle for a world free from oppression and exploitation.
Fraternal progressive organizations, the trade unions, women and youth organizations have been invited to the opening of this historic Congress on Saturday, 31st July 2021 at the Windy Bay Lodge in Winneba, 8:30 a.m. There is victory for us.
Let's go. Oh, let's go. Okay, right. Well, welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Africa, Radio Pan-African Television. We've not started with, there's substantive topics here, and then the studio is already hot. There has been some banter here and there, but we are back. Of course, Honorable Ebi Husseini is uncomfortable with some references made to him by Honorable Adam Sabo, and he's demanding that Sabo retracts those statements he made. And I'll go to Sabo right now and ask him if he's retracting or not. Sabo, he has asked you to produce evidence of the statement you made or you retract.
Let me tell you how tolerant I have been on this platform. And I think last 2 weeks, I showed you this thing. Even right now, just go on this. You are those who managing it.
Right.
Have you ever tried to even caution your viewers? People normally
we do every time. We do every time. Sabo, I do every time.
No, it's here, right?
But I do, right? I do. I've not read the messages here yet.
Let me come. And those who normally even do that, with all due respect, I don't think they're even anywhere near me in society, in life or something of that sort. But I've taken it because I am doing politics. And that is the nature of the business. So at a point in time, we need to be very tolerable. That's what we need to be. Because I was the one doing the presentation. You came in. I didn't say anything about NDC. And you reminded me that there's a party like that who has been doing that kind of thing.
You said that you were reminded.
Yes. When you came in, you didn't mention PNC, you didn't mention CPP, you mentioned NDC.
Look, is it okay? Do we find it okay? In national discourse.
But it's not for you to sit on NDC by their nature. Can't they do that?
Important television station.
NDC by their nature. Right now they are running away from Techima. Petition. So look at what they wanted to found Techima into.
Sabo,
but right now they are running away from it. No evidence.
I asked a simple.
They told us that they won an election. We went to court. They almost banned the whole country. That we went to court.
Now they say that
no, there was no
statement you made or not.
No, my brother.
You are not the type.
I'm not the type.
And the NDC.
When I'm wrong, I will ask for
forgiveness. So where's your evidence? On what basis are you saying that?
So why did you allow me? I was making my submission.
Right. So no. He says he's showing an evidence. So now go ahead with the evidence.
We are waiting for the evidence. Let him bring the evidence.
What's your evidence? On what basis are you saying?
Listen, NDC, like I was saying, anytime NPP is in power, this burning of market that is going on
is done by NDC.
So you see my evidence. You see one of my evidence. You see one of my evidence.
That's what. Which is your evidence?
So is it easy for me to say yes?
Which of your evidence?
That's my evidence. Is it easy for me to say yes?
I didn't say that. I said is it? I asked you a question.
Do you expect me to mention NDC and I'll say good thing about it?
So you concord.
So who is now saying this? No, this is a better evidence.
You will not.
No. It's just we are not being fair. No, do you have evidence? I prove to you how the whole thing started.
Where's the proof?
Where's the proof? Listen, when I said what do you call it? When I just mentioned something, what did he say? What did he say?
I said, is it the NDC? It's a question I asked you.
So that's a question.
Yes. So that is not evidence. So it doesn't constitute any evidence.
So he's the moderator.
No, wait a minute.
No, justice. If you want to
this matter, listen, let me must either show
okay, wait a minute. Now let's take it one after
the other. So my
Honorable, allow for a free flow of, conversation. Now, Sabu, wait a minute.
Please.
No, I'll ask you a question.
I am not prepared for any interrogation.
But you have taxed me.
No, listen.
Then I am saying that
we are working within the ambits of law. If you think that I've gone against the law, but there's a place.
But I will ask you a question.
Because I would like to claim this particular statement here. And I'm so responsible for whatever statement that made. But I also I'm not a surrogate of anybody. It is me, Adam Sabo, who has come here to make this particular statement.
Which investigation established that
my good self
some parties in this country
I tell you, I take my reputation serious and I take the reputation of my party serious. I won't allow you to sit on there and make spurious and baseless allegations. I won't allow you that.
Okay, all right, well, that's all right. You have made your point.
I won't allow you.
Answer my question.
So you either provide the evidence or you retract.
Sabu, kindly go ahead.
Justice. I'm not. In fact, I wanted to go ahead, but I'm not prepared to answer these questions.
Which question?
And I'm saying that question that you've asked.
Then we'll take it as you don't have any evidence or whatsoever by making such statements.
That's why you are making me comfortable. I thought you said that the thing should go to court.
Yes, no. I think that the viewers can judge themselves. No. Just for now on the African story.
But that is where we can see who is speaking the truth and who is lying.
You don't think because you want to say anything, you say anything, go to court.
Honorable, let that be order. I'm sorry.
Honorable, I think I'm
it's not a responsible one.
Now, go ahead.
Yes. So, Justice, let me say a good morning to your good self, to my senior brother Sabo and my.
Kindly make the African story snappy.
And my senior most honorable Ibi, and your viewers out there.
Right.
I think that Africa, we seem to copy sometimes blindly when it comes to democracy, because from the story you just read, I realized that it was about elections, right? Yeah. And the main opposition leader, together with his colleagues, were having a discussion in a hotel room.
Right.
And upon a tip off, they were arrested. Now, I think that the arrest was made based on the rerun which was going to happen in the country, Tanzania. Is that not it? And sometimes I wonder why some of these things happen. And it only happens in Africa. The incumbent always take advantage of both the security agencies and, incumbency advantages, and it turns out that it goes to the advantage. If you look at the arrest, like my brother Sabu said, I don't think it was necessary. It rather creates tension when you do some of these arrests, because if the people were in a hotel room, the demonstration that they were planning has not even started yet. And I think that they said they've banned demonstrations, right? And if people are in a hotel room, does it mean that they are going to demonstrate in the hotel room? I think that it's not proper. Sometimes when you hear some of these stories coming out from our sister countries in Africa, it's like the other parts of the world laugh at us, and they keep telling us, you people said you believe in democracy, but look at the way things are happening. We can't tolerate each other, and I think that it is bad. And going forward, I think that African presidents will have to sit down and come out with a communique, because these things are becoming unbecoming.
Okay.
It happened to Bobby Wine. We all saw what happened to him, and it has also happened to an opposition leader in Tanzania. And we are lucky in Ghana, nobody was arrested, just that it went to court. And so for me, it is about time we put our heads together as African leaders and discuss some of these things, and not to always go sit down and plan how to go and get money from IMF and the rest to come and chop free. Some of these things, when you you sit on it, you act. It will even bring money into the continent. But when there are, conflicts here and there, people don't understand issues, nobody will have that peace of mind to be able to work to generate income. So I think that we need to look at some of these things as African, on the African continent, and see a way we can be able to solve it, and then become a united front, like the European Unions and the United States of America have also make sure that they are, one end. For Africa, it looks like each one for himself, God for us all, and it is not helping the cause.
Thank you so much, Desmond, for your submission. Honorable, Tanzania opposition leader arrested in hotel raid.
Let me take the opportunity first and foremost to say a good morning to your good self, my two colleagues here.
Right.
The technical people of One Africa, the viewers out there, and the Burkina people of the Southern Conferences. Thank Almighty Allah for the successful Eid al-Adha we all observe. And may Allah Almighty accept our prayers.
I didn't even wish
make this nation better than the current level of excruciating hardship we are all going through. May Allah show His mercy to this country and make this better for us. I also want to take the opportunity. In fact, I had a discussion with Mr. Pratt.
Right.
So maybe in case you intend to send me a bill after I've made the statement, I have the blessing of your boss.
Very well.
That we are doing the Adua 40 days of our brother, illustrious brother.
Okay.
And the proud patriot of Dagbo, Alaji Yakub Kasule.
Very well.
Of Biwa company fame. The 40th day anniversary will be done in his house.
Right.
This Sunday. So all friends and well-wishers, I'm sure, are invited.
Right.
And just lastly, let me congratulate the acting IGP. He's somebody I've known. He's a very diligent police officer. My only hope is that he'll be allowed to work, especially under a regime where we are known for impunity. There are people who commit justice. They are beaten. A judge had to run out of a court and leave his sandals behind when mobs, hoodlums invaded the court. Just as not long ago, we had a national security coordinator himself with a gun pointed to his head. Indicate that his life was under threat. Nothing. All those hoodlums have not been arrested. So in a situation where the police are emasculated and cannot do their work because of some of these partisan considerations, I'm sure that even very diligent police officers who want to do their work may come against such obstacles, and the good intentions they may have may fail to materialize and not be able to. I pray that the Almighty Allah give him the strength to be able to do very dispassionate policing. Whoever is, irrespective of your party, political color, your religion, your ethnicity, your everything, that the law is not a respecter of persons. And right. You work in tandem with other stakeholders to achieve results so that the current level of anarchy, near anarchy we are having in our country, will be arrested, so that Ghanaians can enjoy some modicum of peace, even in the massive poverty that we are all going through now. So Justice, I wish him well.
Right.
Now Tanzania, Justice, I am not conversant with the internal laws of Tanzania.
Right.
In respect of demonstrations. I'm sure you know in Ghana here, we have a more liberal regime, where even when you are going on demonstration, you don't need, and I've said it time and again, you don't need the permission of the police to demonstrate. You only need to inform the police according to the Public Order Act, so that you can have a very orderly and peaceful demonstration. So in Tanzania, I don't know what the laws are, but be that as it may, I think that if Tanzania is a full-fledged democracy, if it's a democracy, then the rule of law must be the regulator of the conduct of both government and the governed.
Right.
So both of them are supposed to comply with the rules and regulations of the law.
So I'll come back to you briefly. Let me go for a quick break. At 9, we mostly go for a break. I'll come back. Let's go for a short break. We'll be right back.
Then
Every day, he has a drink filled with malt. Every day, he has a drink filled with malt and milk. Every day, he has a drink filled with malt, milk, and cocoa. Every day, he needs the nutritious goodness of Milo. Milo, the energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved. Every day, he looks after his brother and chases a bus. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, and learns new things. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, and gets back home. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, gets back home, and helps his mom. Phew. That's why every day he needs his cup of Milo filled with the nutritious goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa. Milo, the energy to go further.
From Nestle.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Africa right here on Pan Africa Television with me, Justice Appiah. Hey, Adam Sabo. Adam Sabo. My very good brother. Anyway, but I'll continue with Honorable Ebi Ofuseni. Make it snappy on the Tanzania issue, and then we'll continue with the special prosecutors.
In a democracy, it is the rule of law that takes precedence.
Right.
And everybody must be governed by the rules as spelled out in the constitution and other laws of the country.
Right.
I mean, I want to believe that of the Chamacha Mapinduzi party, which has been in power in Tanzania since independence. I mean, this is the party of the legendary Nyerere, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, and they have been in power for all this time. And I think that I would have wanted a situation where if they had been in opposition before, and in the process of seeking to come back to power, whether or not they organize demonstrations, whether or not they use other means available within the ambit of the law to send their message to the people, which was at variance with what the government was doing. And so inevitably, and that is the picture, just a sorry picture in Africa. And like in Ghana here, where we have the chief demonstrator, Nana Akufo-Addo. He's now in power, and he was using every means to frustrate Ghanaians from going on demonstration.
Did he do that?
He was justice. The police will come and tell you that it's not he himself who he as commander-in-chief of the day, instructions just go to them. Justice. And you indicate that the police will tell you that they cannot get the men to as it were, come and police you for a demonstration. Come out on the streets, and then you see that the men they say they didn't have, all of a sudden all the men will come out. Okay? That is one of the ways in which they want to suffocate dissent. In opposition, they will try to galvanize and use all the means at their disposal to hit the streets. But when they come into governance, they are so intolerant, they don't want any dissent to be expressed opinion on the streets against their misrule in the country. That is the general trend that you have in many African countries. They relish, pork is a taboo for them, but they relish pork soup. They are those who condemn when they are in government, and when they go into opposition, they do exactly the same things that they are talking about. That does not inure to the building of a sustainable democratic system. The laws must be even and open for all citizens of the continent to express their opposition to what is happening in the country.
But until COVID-19, when restrictions were put in place, a bill was passed to restrict people from, probably engaging in, mass gathering and all of that. I don't think that the president prevented anybody, or the party in government prevented anybody from engaging in any demonstration.
If you are a chief of a village, and one day your people at an assembly, you appear with a very weird haircut. A punk, even the young man, he will not even go and cut. What signal will the young man do? When they look at you, the chief, wearing a punk. The young men, the next day, the haircut you have served, some of them may even go and tilt their heads in different directions. Nana Akufo-Addo, president of the republic, was spotted at a funeral, St. John's funeral. You saw the crowd.
Right.
You saw the crowd. As if the whole Ghana was there. What was that? What signal was that sending? What signal was that supposed to send? And that is the hallmark of this government. They say tighten your belt. Ghanaians will tighten now even there's no hook. You to burn new holes. And they are not even, if you look at their trousers, just as my trousers here, there's belt hooks. If you look at it, they don't have even anything where belt can enter. So that is leadership by example. When you are a leader and you want your people to imbibe an example, you show the way.
But they've asked for investigations to be conducted into the matter.
Which matter?
The issue of Sir John's funeral and the organizers and all of that.
Are you a stranger in this country? That for 5 years they have been investigating matters. Have you ever seen one of the reports? Don't waste your time on this. It's just an attempt to buy time, and we shall wait. So justice. For me, I am saying that we must live through to the building of constitutionality. Other countries have built institutions. That's how democracy works. Right. Democracy works on institutions. If you're able to build strong institutions, irrespective of whichever government is there, the laws work. Everybody will then flow along with it. If you want to organize demonstration, you'll be allowed your freedom as a citizen to organize those demonstrations without the interference and the emasculating effect of government. You don't need that. So sincerely, if we are true to our bid to build a democracy, I think that we must work on building stronger institutions. And so far, that's what we are failed to do, because we want to rather rely on strong macho leaders to be able to get through to dictate what the pace of events in the country, and not on the basis of law as we speak. So, Justice, let me come to the special prosecutor.
Very well.
You see, Justice, they say that if you come and you see the shells of something lying down, it means they have already cracked it.
On the special prosecutor, you have 10 minutes.
Yes.
Right.
I'll try. You see, if you don't know death, look at sleep. Justice, when Mr. Martin Amidu was appointed, in the president's own mouth, said they are coming after the corrupt people. And in no time, we will see the results of the office of the special prosecutor. Justice, I remember some of us said that, even at that time, we already had institutions tasked with the responsibility of fighting corruption. The police, the office of the Attorney General, at that time with a minister and 2 deputies, paid by the taxpayer to protect the public purse and ensure that acts of malfeasance are nipped in the bud. Nothing happened. Okay, Justice. And so when that office was added and there was euphoria, pomp and pageantry, because first and foremost, corruption takes place within a certain political milieu, a certain political environment. And Justice, I just finished speaking about leadership. That when we show leadership, nobody will dare. They will think that corruption is a high price to pay for anybody to engage in. But if those under your watch can engage in acts of impunity and get away, Justice, nothing will be get achieved. You may only succeed in going after a few of your political opponents. And in most cases, that is what some of them think they are setting up this institution. They are not setting them up with the true intent of ensuring that they actually work to combat corruption. They are sending them there to go after their political opponents. And thank God, Justice, that when the mad fish comes to tell you that the crocodile has belly ache. Today, Martin Amidu has spoken for all of us to hear. And he has coined a very important term. Ghanaians are now using today. He said the mother serpent of corruption. I'm sure you are aware of that. What does that mean? That the government and the one who is even ahead trying to fight corruption himself is not. So there is no political will on the part of this government to fight corruption. Just starting from even where they came from opposition. You remember when this EcoBank thing came up, when they were in opposition in 2016, and Paul Afoko and others took up the matter, and the police were invited to they announced that they were not going to cooperate with the police and declared the police persona non grata. In this country, I'm providing you, when me I say this is a mail, I'm holding it by the boss. I'm providing you the evidence. Okay? Justice. It happened in this country. It happened in this country where not only allegations, justice, proving acts were made. Today, look at the issue there at the National Procurement Authority and the bank account. They simply just remove the man, ask him that, look, you have done something bad, very bad. Go home and sit down. Nothing has happened to him. Justice, from the time of the Ken Bond through the contaminated fuel, all those things that have come up to date. Justice, not one single person has been held to task. Not one. The National Youth Authority, the malfeasance and stinking corruption that went on there. The president just asked him to go home and enjoy his loot. Nothing has happened to that person. No prosecution. Okay? Even in situations where justice, internally, the structures that have been put forward to fight corruption, even the president has undermined the fight against corruption. I'll give you an example.
What's your example?
Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company. Okay? Where the board, justice, the board is not put in place by me or you. It's put in place by President Nana Akufo-Addo himself. Okay? And they are populated mostly by MPP people. I doubt how many NDC people they will make board members. Okay? So he chose the board, inaugurated the board, and put them in place there to work in harmony with the chief executive for the place to go on. The board members come and make allegations against the chief executive. Okay? Even before it is investigated, what happened? They sack all the board, the president sacked all the board members. Justice, is that how to fight corruption? Is that how to fight corruption? You remember in the case of this contaminated fuel, before even when Honorable Ejaku, and I salute him, he wanted to do the right thing, so he set up a committee to go and probe the missing fuel. This is what happened. Before that, the government issued a statement and cleared whoever was involved by saying that there was already even a BNI report that had acted on the matter and it was overtaken by events. So it was cleared. Look at the cash for seats. Even before Parliament could set up the district to probe it, the president came and cleared. So that is why people were calling the president as the chief clearing agent. Where issues of allegations of corruption are there, he will be the first to issue statement and clear. So in that situation, how do you fight corruption? So the requisite political will that is needed to fight corruption is not there. That's it. I won't paint NHS as having been a saint. But under President Mama, there were some of those situations where investigations were conducted, even prosecutions were made. Even to take the case for prosecution, it's a giant step. This government in 5 years now hasn't done one single one. And so at this age, they have not seen acts of corruption be perpetrated under this government. And I've just mentioned just a few. There's a litany. Just if I want to mention, we'll mention now this room will be full.
You mean that they've not prosecuted anybody?
Who has been prosecuted? Tell me.
But Oponi is in court. Who prosecuted him? Is it the NDC?
Listen to the statement I made. I said no MPP man. No MPP person.
Okay, that's all right. Okay.
They will never prosecute any MPP person.
Okay.
Their own.
Right. Okay.
They will not touch their own. You can commit, and just not even corruption, crime. I just told you how people can go and vandalize a court. People can go and point gun AK-47 at a regional security coordinator. Okay? They can go to a Northern Development Authority, vandalize, steal all the motorbikes. They will commit all unspeakable crimes. Not a single one of them will be dealt with. Because there is no political will from the leadership to go after their people. Once they are people, they can commit any crime, whether it's corruption or not. They will not come after those persons. So that is the selective amnesia. That's the selective justice they are portraying. And so justice, you may have somebody of a bigger pedigree, and I can say that at least I can say that for Martin Amido.
Right.
That his pedigree was big enough. That is why at the end of the day he refused. Because why? When Ken Ofori-Atta, and just that is where the metal of corruption, your ability to fight corruption will come to the fore. When people who are even closer to you engage in those acts, and you can give them away, you can say, look, do your work. Nobody will interfere with your work. When it came to Ken Ofori-Atta, the president's financial risk, what happened? Mati Aminu himself tells the story. Ghanaians today know what happened. He was told to stay his house off.
Oh, we have 2 minutes.
And they say, Mati Aminu wrote this and it's deal with the public domain. That is what he was told. And that's why he invented all these terms to describe what the situation is in Ghana today. So, Justice, it is abundantly clear that under this government, under the leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, they have no intent to fight corruption. In fact, today, corruption is fighting Nana Akufo-Addo and his government.
Right.
So clearly, and you also have to take into consideration the cognizance, the role of civil society. Just today, even from their deafening silence, a number of them, at least a few of them, got the courage to speak up and to add that corruption was not being fought as relentlessly as it should have been. Justice. I remember at least one of the very vocal advocates in that direction, Imani and Franklin Kujo and all those people have spoken. A number of them, they have also listed a litany of corruption issues that this government woefully refused to attack. And so, Justice, Ghanaians must be angry enough. Sitting where I sit, Justice, this was a government when they were in opposition. The Ameri deal, you remember the Ameri deal? The ones they made about Ameri in the run-up to the 2016 elections. That it was thinking of corruption. And how much was it? That the NDC had padded the decision and it was a corrupt act. Justice, $530 million. The Ameri plant. They are saying with all corruption this man. We come to, the NPP comes to power. And nobody himself, Nana Akufo-Addo himself. Just listen to me. Nobody else, Nana Akufo-Addo himself.
Right.
This executive approval to the Ameri innovation deal and brings it to Parliament. What figure do they bring? Instead of even they condemn 530 million. Justice, they brought $1.3 billion.
Oh, kindly step down for me.
Okay, 530 is corrupt. What do we say about 1.3 billion? So Justice, I can say without any iota of doubt that under this regime, there will be no iota of an attempt to fight corruption. What they will simply do is that they will use it at best to go after the political opponents of the NPP. That's all. But no NPP person who, against all these allegations and malfeasance and clear acts of criminality have been brought to the fore. And not a single one of them would the regime have the decision to go after.
Thank you so much.
Clear. Justice, that as long as the fight against corruption and protection of the public purse, because they don't believe in the protection of the public purse. Look at the opulent, extravagant life that the top echelons are living, including even recently, just as you were here when we played this aircraft the president went to take.
Right.
When we talk of corrupt acts, we must include all those because we are abuse of office. That when we have a sitting presidential jet, we will jettison that jet and go and take a jet that costs 15,000 pounds per hour.
Okay.
At the time when your people are suffering and they can't even get one square meal.
Thank you, Honorable.
Is that leadership?
Let me come to
that leadership is clearly lacking.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Obiofuseni, for your submission. A very good morning to Bishop Adukpo from Aflao. You're watching us live in Aflao. Good morning to you, Bishop Adukpo from Aflao. Thank you so much for watching the program this morning. Let me come to Sabo on the issue of the special prosecutor. He says he cannot stop the canker. I'm talking about corruption. Sabo, your take.
Thank you, Justice. In fact, yesterday I had the opportunity to watch vetting for some time. And to be frank with you, Justice, I don't know him personally. I've only heard of him. But yesterday, in fact, he earned my confidence, respect, and admiration.
Right.
He's a very brilliant...
You have 10 minutes to deal with this.
Don't worry.
Right.
He's a very brilliant young man, very promising and enterprising. And my prayer is that all the things that he said there, all the knowledge that he exhibited, and all the experience that he brought to bear, even facing the vetting committee, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide him in this new office so that he can actually execute his work without fear nor favor to any party except Mother Ghana. Justice, I don't know if you had the opportunity to listen to him. In fact, people were of the view that he's very young. Somebody like Martin Amidu occupying a place and somebody's come to occupy, the person should have the caliber of Martin Amidu and what and what and what and what and what. People are saying that Martin Amidu couldn't do any this and this and that. And the same people are saying that Martin Amidu has independent mind. So what stopped him from doing what he was supposed to do all these 2 years that he has been in that office? Or was it 4 years that he has been in that office? What stopped him from doing it? If he's indeed is an independent person, if indeed he's endowed with vast experience and knowledge in that field.
He complained of frustration from...
He complained. He's an independent person. He need not to complain. I'm an independent person. I don't complain. I do things. I don't complain. Those who have worked with me, they will tell you. I can only complain when I don't have the capacity, when I don't have the ability. But once I'm given the power, I will do it. I don't care how much you talk about it or how much you complain.
Are you aware he talked about funding of his office?
I am saying that, please.
Did you expect him
budget
to fund
they came
the
out
office with
just
his own
this
money?
is what I don't like. He said so many things. Did you probe him?
I did.
Oh, where?
He's asking me many questions.
Oh, where?
Over here.
Is that the rate? You never let me. No, is that the rate at which you were asking questions?
Go ahead.
I don't talk
Go ahead.
about it.
I just started just 1 minute. You've asked about 4 questions. I'm not afraid of your questions, but you don't actually normally let me get the program.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's no question that I cannot answer you.
Right.
You see, so this young man, I have confidence in him, not because it is my party that is in government and has appointed him, but of course, everybody will want to have such experience, such skills in his or her field. Even if you are a top pusher, you should prove to be competent in your field of work, and you earn the admiration and respect of people who work around you. And you also earn the confidence of people who want to express interest in whatever you are doing. So I wish this young man well. And I believe yesterday they came there with certain machine guns, bazooka, and what and what and what. But unfortunately, he came there with anti-missile and he swallowed all their bazookas. And they had nothing to do than to just quiet back. And then, in fact, some of them were even pointed at as his students and some his juniors and other things. And even when they question of his age, look at, excuse me to say with all due respect, sometimes how myopic that we think. Our own constitution has dictated to us that at age 40 you can become the president of this country. Is there any highest office than the presidency? Then you doubt somebody's ability to occupy an office which is under the presidency. Of course, I like the kind of answer he gave to them. That the president of France, he is 1 year older than him. And he's the president, not any other country, but one of the most civilized countries in the world, France. He also made it clear that he's of the same age with the president of France, and he's 1 year older than the Attorney General. He's a minister, and his office is even under the Attorney General. So why then? I mean, you can make the absurdity there. How can you go to ask of his age Is it about competence, qualification, or age? If it were to be constitutional matter, that's what I'm saying. They are the lawmakers, and they are aware of the constitutional provision. So why that question? Why do you allow yourself to be slapped like that?
So what makes it wrong for his age?
It's very wrong. It's very wrong. It's just like me being a teacher, and I'll come and ask a classroom, I mean, just my boy, 1 plus 1 in a form 3 or form 2. What, I mean, 1 plus 1. What kind of question is that? In form 3, you ask somebody 1 plus 1. Oh, don't laugh. Listen, you see, it is good that when we are given opportunities, when we are given mandates to come and then contribute our quota for the development of Mother Ghana, it is true that we may have individual interests, but our individual interests should only help us to promote the collective interests. So as a nation, we move on. But not in China. Nonetheless, there are some people from the NDC side, in fact, they were very nice to the gentleman, and they really admired and said very nice things about him. I've never known him. I've never come across him. But before, in fact, when they mentioned earlier on, I was also actually driven by the very people who were saying he's young. And in fact, I also started thinking that way. Until yesterday, I listened to the young man and his submissions. And not knowing that he has been even, what do you call it, at the bar for, no, he's been teaching for about 18 years or so. So you can imagine, a lecturer at the law school and the rest. No, let me come. I'm
a very important question. The gentleman talked about the fact that he cannot fight corruption.
I'm coming there.
A very difficult.
I'm coming there. I'm coming there.
Are these statements made, no statements to later justify the reasons why maybe probably he's unable to fight corruption to its entirety?
That is why sometimes I say in politics, the way we normally carve out things, comprehension, or in other words, semantics, you've just carved out this one. So somebody who did not listen to him, that's the way the person will put it right. When he said that, what did he say again? He said he's going to make corruption very expensive. So once he has brought this word actually, what do you call it, qualifies. He's saying that he cannot eliminate corruption. And it is true. Nobody on the surface of this earth can eliminate corruption. Corruption and prostitution, no, in fact, they're all born the same day. In fact, the day God created man, that was the day corruption started. That was the day prostitution started. And nobody. So, but you can only minimize, you can only do your best to put it at them. In fact, all of us here, nobody can say that he's not corrupt in one way or the other. We have forms of corruption. Different forms of corruption. In fact, in fact, corruption became so an issue that when you go to the Quran, there's a surah called Surah Al-Mutaffifin. It talks about corruption and admonishes us to stay away from it and the rest. So for that one, I think the young man had it right. I think where me, frankly speaking, where I didn't feel comfortable when he talked about that thing, when he tried to, associate it with God. There is nothing beyond God's control. There is nothing God cannot do. So that is where maybe to me personally, because of my religious background, from my thinking, I feel his head. Nothing on the surface of this earth, anything that you can even imagine, and I have never seen it, it is not beyond God's control. So for that one, I don't think that statement was right religiously.
So one question that God himself make corruption expensive.
Yes, I'm coming there.
Talked about some measures. Those measures are measures we've tried and they never worked. How is he going to perform that magic?
Oh, definitely. What you are saying, you can take a spanner and a screwdriver and go to a car, try to solve a problem, and you do everything. You cannot. But another person will come with the same spanner and screwdriver and go and solve the problem.
Index so every time it doesn't deter corrupt officials.
Justice. I don't like the way you asking a question. I'm still answering it. I'm even talking. So how can I even listen to the next one that we are talking about?
Go ahead.
So that one there, don't bring it. If Matamidi was incompetent and could not actually do it, because he is the first person to have occupied the office, and he showed gross incompetence.
Matamidu never admitted that he was incompetent.
Please.
No, let's address all these things.
Unless you are a spokesperson of Matamidu.
No, but he has never admitted anywhere that he was incompetent.
But will you admit, who has ever admitted that he's incompetent?
In fact, he has
John Dramani Mahama up to date has he admitted that he's incompetent?
level that he gave.
I'm asking you, John Dramani Mahama up to date. I'm asking you, John Dramani Mahama up to date has he accepted that he's incompetent?
Ghana doesn't have John Mahama's competence.
Did NPP frustrate Matamidu or not?
John Mahama's competence.
In doing his work.
In fact, I've succeeded. I just tested something to work.
I'm just bringing.
You want to do? And then you are just troublesome. Let me ask you a question.
Just you don't allow me to flow.
Why? I want to ask you a question.
If you want to invite me and you should come and sit down here and debate this thing.
I'll ask you a question. I'm saying that the question I'm asking is that Matamidu leveled a lot of allegations against the NPP government. Did the NPP government frustrate Matamidu or not in discharging his duties?
You see, sometimes I don't know. Why you have to ask me certain questions?
We talked about his incompetence.
Try and look at other relevant issues. I'll concern that question. Let me give you an answer. Let me give you an answer. Let me give you an answer. The issue of Isofutun, the issue of Waterville, and the rest. Please, if you ask me a question, I'm answering you. Justice. You know, justice. I don't want the way you want me to do my communication here. You ask me a question. I'm answering you. You are also. I mean, go ahead. You want me to? You are engaging me in this thing. Matamidu was the Attorney General. When certain things were done and he advised, the president refused and did those business. When he was forcibly removed from office, the same Matamidu, without any government machinery, no power. Even in fact, it was his own party that was in power because there was no way NPP would even embrace him. He went to court and succeeded. He went to court and won. Why can't he do same? Today that even his party is supporting him. Why can't he do same? What is this? So they tell Matamidu to go to court. That the courts are there for him to actually prove that there was some act of corruption. And the government is sitting on it. So he's coming to court and then to do that one.
My question.
That's the question I've answered.
Government frustrate Matamidu or not?
Where did they frustrate him in the first place? Where did they frustrate him?
We talked about the fact that in the course of investigating the Japa deal, I mean, there were a lot of things that happened. The issue of mother serpent and corruption.
I don't want you to mention this thing here. Why
don't you want me to mention?
Yes, you people have said a lot about the Ejapadi. When you're giving you people.
Take it easy. I'm here.
No, I say you people.
No, the way you stretch your hand, you see.
They know themselves.
Kindly step down for me, man.
Please. don't talk of stepping down, crowd. Listen,
but why?
You people. But you look at this. When my brother was, what do you call it, speaking, I was very quiet here. You are enjoying what he was saying. I started speaking. I said that I thought on your seat.
Your brother, you are accused of burning markets.
So, but let me come. But quickly, you succeeded because I wanted to bring a build up, but you succeeded. But let me just come to this thing. Listen, when my brother was making his submission, he was talking about the what do you call it? That after their political Yes, that the special prosecutor is appointed to come after our political opponents. See, this is an unfair comment, but he didn't say anything about it. You enjoyed it when he said it.
He said this.
No. You see, this is where I have a problem with you. If I were the one who said it, in fact, you would have jumped in.
Samuel, you never.
No. Please, allow me to make my submission.
You are tempting me.
Let me tell you. He appeared before an appointment committee, which is composed of both the opposition and the ruling government. And the government is not something like a political party. Government is for the states in this particular case. So, if you feel that his appointment was indeed is to promote and then also try to promote the government activities and then thwart the efforts or the activities of the opposition, why didn't you? Because he was brought before you to scrutinize him, to make sure that he fits into the office and he does what is actually prescribed for the office.
Right.
And you come and sit here and say that he's actually appointed to go and then do the bid of the government against the opposition. Of course, if you know you have something up your sleeve, then better prepare. Because this young man, from the way I'm seeing now, when he asks you one question, the only way you can answer is to move your standards and start running.
Are you cautioning your party members?
No, yes. Me, I've always said, look, I've always said it here. If my party member is corrupt, in fact, the law should deal with him.
Right.
The law should come after him.
Very principled man.
Oh yes.
He has never seen one person who is corrupt in 5 years.
Let me tell you that the dissolution
Ask
of
him, 5 years. He hasn't seen
he talked about the dissolution of the Ghana Cylinder board.
Yeah. God of
Listen.
Someone, let me come.
Let it come.
Let's try to talk to
This is the dissolution of the Ghana Cylinder board.
Yeah.
You see, in fact, he's a top man. He's a top man in their political deliberations at the party level.
Okay.
We all know that when there's an issue and it is brought up,
okay,
first there's an internal investigation.
Sabo.
Let me come. The presidency.
No, let me come.
Oh no, yes, I'm coming. I'm just.
You are
just you are the one who is making. You will never allow me to make any. What have I said so far?
No, but
you said a lot.
No, listen. No, I agree. No, I agree that yes, I've taken time. But the point is, what have I said? You've always been a lot. Well, my justice.
You have made your point.
With all due respect, let me now.
Step down.
Is that one? You gave him 2 minutes. He ended up using 10 minutes. When he was about, you said 2 minutes, but he ended up using 10 minutes. What do we say about it?
But I
no, justice. They are not making because they're telling me what I said. They are telling they are sitting there. They know how this person this. I have always done that. I have always done that.
It takes more time than I did.
Let me put my this in there. You are talking of, or you are not comfortable with the point. You know that there's a punch this in there. Dissolution of the Ghana Cylinder board that we are talking of. Allegation was raised. They brought an allegation. So if at the presidency, they investigate the decision and realize it's rather a conspiracy, do you want them to maintain such people there? When they were taken out of the decision, why didn't they head to court? That the state is about to lose something, we said it will be removed from office. They themselves are being invited full members of the board to find out what actually went on, and they realized that it's just like the Techiman South case. So they left it there and ran away. The last one. The last one. Yes. He was talking of Meme being corrupt and what. Look, I've always said this. John Dramani Mahama, if indeed he is not corrupt and he claims not to be corrupt, I say challenge John Dramani Mahama to let the committee that Professor Ivan Fifi Atamis, may so rest in peace, constituted just weeks after his death about the aircraft purchase from Brazil. That John Dramani was. Oh, please. When government is I am saying allow me to talk. So John Dramani, yes, if he's indeed he's not corrupt, I said that he succeeded the presidency, and when he succeeded, instead of him to allow the people to control their work and vindicate him, he dissolved that particular committee. I'm just telling you. Is there any corrupt person? For 5 years. In fact, it's not unfortunate there's no. In fact, I was now come to take the dose of John Dramani Mahama on the line of corruption. And you see. Justice. They even tried to get Mathiami to investigate that. It was a flop. All right. Let me come to this one. If any wrong has been perpetrated, MPP is in government. Take it up. Don't you think so?
5 years. What have the former president had any question to answer? 5 years. What have they done?
I think that the special prosecutor's office should have been scrapped off.
Why?
Because for me, I see it as a duplication of the AG's office.
Okay.
Because what the AG is supposed to do, we are claiming the special prosecutor is supposed to do the same thing. So is it not a duplication?
But the AG has, relinquished part of its powers.
Why?
To the special prosecutor.
Why?
To perform.
Over the years, we've been having the AG prosecuting people.
But this is an independent person who is not going to be prosecuting on party lines. It is believed that AG is a party person.
How independent is it? How independent is that office?
We all knew how independent Martin Amedu
was. He independent to you?
You think that he wasn't?
Was he independent to you?
Why did he resign?
And was he able to prosecute even an ant?
Because he was frustrated, according to him.
So then how then does he become an independent body? Because if we have wasted over 5 years, pay someone to be a special prosecutor, and at the end of the day, nothing to show for it, and we still continue to keep that office, I don't see the need for us to keep that office. It is just an office to create for someone, like we created ambassador at large for someone. It's basically the same thing. Because for me, we are going to see this man. He is a perfect, fantastic. Everything about him is good. He's a young man. And I just pity for him because he is not going to work. Nothing is going to come out from his office. Because, like we all said, he is under the AG. If there's an issue and the AG decides that, look, I am going to sit on this thing, that is it. That ends it. He doesn't have the power to go on with it again. So why do we waste our time, waste the taxpayers' money to, employ or create an office where the office is going to be empty? Because, look, Martin Amidu was complaining that the office itself needs certain things to be able to operate. Have we asked ourselves whether we've been able to provide those things for that particular office before going on to appoint a new person to become a special prosecutor? From day one, when this office was created, I said, look, this is another duplication of an AG's office. And clearly, it's showing. Because from what is going on, they will be coming out to be doing commentaries. Like the way Martin Amidu was doing. He comes, give us commentary, today that, tomorrow that. This man also fits into his shoes. Because from the way he was speaking yesterday, I could see that he can be a good commentator. He can give us commentary on whoever is corrupt, whoever is going to be corrupted. We are going to be hearing stories. And at the end of the day, I can tell you for a fact that at the end of Nana's tenure, not even an ant will be prosecuted. Because already he has come out to tell Ghanaians that corruption is like politics. Politics, is in our everyday life, is in everything that we do. And he's telling us that corruption itself is difficult to stop.
Are you saying that he's not capable of fighting the canker? Or what you are saying is that Kissi Agyabeng would not get the necessary support from government in order to, discharge his duties perfectly? Which one are you talking about? Is he capable of doing it, and that he was not going to have any support, or he himself is not capable?
The office itself, there's no support for the office. So how would he be able to operate? The office itself is empty. So how is he going to operate? He is capable of doing it. But interference.
Okay.
Interference. Today that, tomorrow that, like I told you earlier on, if there's an issue and the AG decides that I am going to sit on it, that ends it. There's nothing he can do. And so for me, I don't see that particular office. We as Ghanaians continue keeping that office. It was supposed to have been scrapped off, like some of these ministries have been scrapped off. Because look, we were in this country when they were prosecuting Abu Gapedi. Is it not the AG's office who did that?
Right.
All the people that we know that they were involved in some acts that were being prosecuted, even currently, Opuni's case, who is handling it? Who is handling it?
Right.
So, if we say we want to create a special prosecutor's office, for me, I see it as an office for the party in power to do some sort of witch hunting. Go after these people for me. Do this thing for me. And at the end of the day, let's make it public so that people will get to know that indeed we are doing this or we are doing that. Because the AG's office is there. If I know that Kofi has done something wrong, I take him to court. And if I take him to court, is it the special prosecutor who is going to handle the case?
But the special prosecutor says he has the president's support in fighting corruption.
You see, the president has, so many institutions has the support of the president.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what do they do? The president appointed him. So he has every reason to tell us that he has the support of the president. You understand? But as to whether he will be able to perform, as to whether he's going to get, sometimes my people say the accoutrements to be able to do his work is the problem.
Excuse me, let me just explain this one. The difference between the special prosecutor and the AG is that with the AG, it is a complainer. Somebody has to come out and complain against somebody. But the special prosecutor has been given the power of auditing.
Okay.
To audit your work.
So that is why I'm saying that. So that's why I'm saying that. You see, that's why I'm saying that. Go ahead. That's why I'm saying that it is an office which has been created for either the government in power or the political party to go after other opposition members who they claim are corrupt or have done certain things that they.
Then the first we wouldn't have put Martin Amidu, who was a member of a different party.
Oh, but you see, Martin Amidu stood against his own party.
He's still a candidate. At the time, he was still a candidate member of the party.
I was so quite right.
Well, I understand you. No, I just tried to play something for you.
The Chinese have a proverb that to say your enemy's enemy is your friend.
Yeah, also your enemy. The Chinese has this particular in Africa.
What is getting with the NDC? So use an NDC man to go after NDC people. You think this is elementary? Everybody knows.
Okay, so that's what kindly go ahead. So like I said, I think that office for me, I don't see it currently necessary when even at the moment that we need money to be able to do so many things, and we create another office as a special prosecutor's office to sort of waste our money. And let me say waste our money, because you see, the reason why I'm saying waste our money is that Martin Amidu was given a V8. He was given an office.
Okay.
How many people did he prosecute? At the end of the day, we wake up one day and we heard what he said. He wrote, came out with a whole lot of issues. People are interfering in his activities. And of course,
government institutions were not cooperating with him.
You understand? So
the office needed some funding, which was provided. And later, the Japa deal, in fact, he came out with some revelations and all of that.
So I just sometimes ask a simple question. Now, this Ajabin was appointed by
recently he's been alleged to have said that his greatest regret was to trust, President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
So at the end of the day, somebody appoints you, go and make sure people who are corrupt are being brought to book. And then these are the things we hear. These are the commentaries we hear. And we keep on, creating, or we keep on maintaining such an office. We don't have to. It is a waste of time. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. See, I was asking myself that, look, the current president or the current government has appointed Ajabin as a special prosecutor.
Right.
If in 2024, MPP don't win power, what happens to this special prosecutor? This is a question I was asking myself yesterday. Because, you see, if the AG himself or the AG office is under the president appointed the AG, is that not it?
Right.
When the president is going, he goes with the AG. So what happens to the special prosecutor? What happens to the special prosecutor? So you see, sometimes it's like our brothers in both NDC and MPP, they always come, create an office, and make sure that when they are going, they either go with the office or leave the office for someone to come and continue. And it is not helping us as a nation. It is about time we look at the specific offices, the specific institutions that can help the ordinary citizen and create them. There are institutions that we can blend or merge them And at the end of the day, they can work perfectly. What we need to do is to make sure that those institutions are independent. And when I say independent in the sense that there shouldn't be any interference for whatsoever. Right. But at the end of the day, we see this institution is an independent body, and yet they depend on the government. Whatever the government says, or whatever the president or the government of the day will say, that is what they will go with.
All right.
I think that at this moment, when COVID is around the corner, when we need money for infrastructure, when we need money for our free SHS, when we need money to be able to create Sabo's office at Ayawaso East, and then at the end of the day, we are using those money to go and create special prosecutor's office, I think it is not going to help us as a nation.
Thank you so much, Desmond, for the submission, Honorable Adam Sabo. Yes, he's my very good friend, but very difficult to deal with. Happy 57th birthday to Miss Marian Azu, proprietress of Azores International School, Community 20. We wish you God's abundant grace, undiluted health, and concentrated favor upon your generations. We pray that you continue to change the lives of others with your positivity, love, and beautiful spirit, with much love from your teaching and non-teaching staff. Miss Marian Azu, proprietress of Azores International School, Community 20, your teaching and non-teaching staff are wishing you happy 57th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Now we have just about 6 minutes to go, and we'll take two minutes to do this final story. 7.62 billion for free SHS in 5 years. Finance Minister says. I'll start with you, Honorable Alhaji ABF Hussaini. 2 minutes.
Yes, I think this is a matter that the House, I'm talking of Parliament specifically, had summoned the Finance Minister many times. It took him a long time, even sometime before he even came some time ago. He said it was 3.2 billion.
Right.
Then now we are hearing this figure that is given. And Justice, I have said that ab initio in 2016, the run up to the 2016 elections, I think that the issue of free HSS was an issue that all the political parties had in their manifestos.
Right.
And rest, we in the NDC, in fact, not only was it in our manifesto, President Mahama, as a matter of record, and it's there at the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Education Service.
Okay.
If you go there, all day students had their fees paid, fully absorbed. And over 10,000 boarding students had their fees absorbed as the beginning of the comprehensive, and you know we indicated the comprehensive. Justice, if I come to your area, Justice, and I say that you have a right to good health, but you don't have even a chief's compound in your area, you may have to travel 100 kilometers before you can access a health facility. Of what use is that right to you? So, in as much as all of us embrace the decision that taking the burden of fees off parents is a good policy and a good relief.
Right.
But for it must be justiciable. It must be capable of being implemented to the benefit of the people at their doorsteps. Justice, this government, in spite of getting revenue of over 300 billion Ghana cedis, including oil wealth, Justice, they have borrowed, today as we speak, they have borrowed over 200 billion Ghana cedis. In just 4 years. A borrowing that has stripped Ghana from independence to President Mahama. Okay? They have solicited and gotten grants in billions of Ghana cedis. So we put all of them together. And this government hasn't started and finished one single secondary school. Single one. Okay? The other day you were talking, you said ambulance. Justice, if you drive an ambulance, do you drive an ambulance to a bank?
Not at all.
You drive an ambulance to a hospital, alive. So you are comparing your achievement with an ambulance to a hospital. No wonder. They just showed it. One of they are this in my constituency.
Right. I will step down.
Justice.
Your 2 minutes is up.
But you just asked me, so I've just started.
No, I said 2 minutes because we have 6 minutes to go. Oh no, I'm saying I should step down so you can step down properly.
Justice, you have gone to my fire. Yes, because me, I just warming up to get to the say I should step down. Justice.
Oh, so you do 2 minutes in wrapping up, you know.
It's okay, Justice. I'm
right.
I'm not angry. It's okay.
So, Sabo.
Okay.
2 minutes.
You see?
One Honorable has done exactly 2 minutes.
Oh, my brother. So you see, look at this is unnecessary. You are just exposing yourself.
I'm not exposing myself, my brother.
So if Honorable had done something, that for me that should even get closer. That's what we mean. Listen. You see, I don't know why or how NDC want us to treat them. In government, you are lazy. In opposition to you are lazy. This PSHS is a state-funded project. And every school, you have the data of all the schools. As the immediate past government, you have the data of all the schools in this country. And in every school when you go at the headmaster's office, you have the data of the student population there. So why not you yourself sit down, do your own arithmetic before you come out and then give us a yardstick that your distance. This is how much the free HHS has cost us so far as a nation. But you are rather opening your mouth widely. Hey, why do you say this amount free HHS they have this? When they ask you can't say anything. I mean, that is my problem with NDC. You should have, because sometimes it's going to say they occupy our time and then they just make it go for nothing, because this one will go to parliament and they will just use state resources and everything, and at the end of the day there's nothing wrong with what the finance minister has said. You should have already done your work. You are not giving us any figures. You are rather disputing the figures given. So how do you believe your story? Where are you coming from? That's my problem. That's my problem with the NDC. But let me tell you something. For me, you were saying that they started their progressive or whatever they will be calling day school and the rest. I was still in classroom, fortunately for me. My student who just completed Form 3, JHS 3, and went to Kimbu, a very bright student that some of you, the teachers, were supporting, was driven home for exams fee under their so-called day school sponsorship, was driven home for exams fee. She came to the school and then my college teacher had to pay Mr. Akpe. He had to pay that money for her and the rest. And you sit here and say that you were paying and the rest. How many were you even paying? How many? Who even heard of it? Because you, by your nature, we know you. When you do something, it will sound like a Chinese drum. So everybody will hear of it. And the rest. So me, to be frank with you, this free SHS that has come to stay, to me, today as we speak, even Ghana, I think that is it the whole world or Africa. We are number 2 when it comes to spending on education as a nation. I stand to be corrected, either in Africa or the whole world. We are number 2 country.
The whole world.
It's the whole world.
It cannot be the whole world.
No, it cannot be. That's what I'm saying.
Not even West Africa, it's a lie.
You see, the NDC way of arguing.
It's a lie.
So mention the country.
No, wait down.
Please.
Listen, we'll step down that for sorry.
I just made a statement.
Okay.
You are not comfortable with it.
It's not comfortable.
Let's recap. That is what. Listen.
He doesn't to be corrected. Okay, wow, that's right.
Listen, he has to be corrected. You see the way you do this thing. So, Justice. This particular issue that they are talking about, the 6.62 billion, If they are not comfortable with that amount, like I said earlier on, they should give us their figures.
Okay.
Then Ghanaians will know where the truth is coming from.
Right.
How much has been spent on this money so far? This one, there's nothing to talk about. Gafili Gadoki. Fortunately for you, you are a member of parliament, and you people are in parliament. You have committee, subcommittee for what do you call it, education. What have you come out with? And you come here to complain to us. To do what?
All right, thank you so much, Sabo, for your submission. That's what kindly take us on.
You see, for me, the figure there, I don't have any issues with the figure.
Okay.
My problem is that the finance minister sometimes decides to answer to some questions and decides to refer some questions to other people, which I think is wrong.
Right.
If he is able to state these figures, what was preventing him from stating the figures that the president spent during his travels? So for me, I think that as a finance minister, when you are being asked questions and you are able to explain in details some, you should be able to explain all, because you don't leave us in a state where you tell us that give me some time, and then after 3 months you come back and tell me that I should go and find out the actual amount that the president spent from the security minister. Then it's I see it as an insult.
Right.
If you are able to tell us that free SHS we have spent 7.62 billion Ghana cedis, and if you are supposed to quote this in tree, you can't even mention
This amount of money to be
it's
spent in 5 years.
spent in 5 years. And the president was able to spend 2.8 million Ghana cedis.
But in all sincerity, that question was a bogus question.
It is not bogus.
It wasn't meant for the
bogus, Sabo. It is not. It is never bogus. He needs to account to the ordinary citizen.
Yes, but he's not the one to
vote for him.
He is not involved in the day-to-day
He cannot tell us that I am supposed to answer this question.
They could have only asked him how much did he assign to the office of the presidency. Simple as that.
And apologize to Ghanaians and tell Ghanaians.
But as to how much the office of the presidency spent, it is not his question.
Travel. You cannot spend 2.8 million cedis in 2 weeks. Come and tell me that you have
this is a product of lazy opposition.
No,
I'm telling you, it's a product of lazy opposition.
You cannot spend 2.8 million
opposition will ask this kind of question
and spend 7.6 billion in 5 years. So if you
already in the fifth
for 1 year, how much is it going to cost?
Are we already in the 5th year of the free senior high school policy?
Well, we are in the 5th year.
Okay.
We are in the 5th year. And if he's telling us that this is the amount they have spent on our children, the people who stood in the sun to vote for them, this is the fear money you spend on them. And you are able to spend $2.8 million.
It wasn't on travels. As soon as they came to power in 2007, it wasn't implemented.
Well,
that's why even the form 2 and the form 3, there's no
honorable, take it granted that this is the
anything this government
this is the amount they have spent. The president spent 2.5 million in 2 weeks. Let's calculate a year and see the amount and compare it to this. Let's calculate and compare it to this. This is not how much is spent. Because that is going to be
I forgot you said I am the one.
Justice. I wanted no casting doors.
Let's tell you.
People are the casting doors that you have bought. People are that they bought. There are no textbooks to write on. No furniture. No textbooks are not even. The children sit in the house for 4 hours. 3 weeks.
Alright, thank you so much.
I was going to blow this point. When you were teaching that
oh yes,
it's a more
there were no teaching.
At the moment, people are having problems with text. They are telling us.
You understand? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
They have converted our education system and degenerated it to producing half-baked literacy. And they bring them out there.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you so much, Desmond, for coming. I'm so grateful for your time. Make a time with us same time next week. My name is Justice Apia, and the show has been good.
My big boy is wild.
For my boss, Kwame,
when you
also done so. Goodbye.
You have a textbook.